Hello, sweet listeners. Thank you again for joining the Stories Station podcast. I'm Kay McCoy, your host, and today we are here to talk about, obviously, Love Me in Vegas, the anthology. But before we get into that, I have to share this with all of you. Thank you so much. We are now fully funded, and as by the time this recording drops, there should be a stretch goal. So, if you haven't already, please go ahead and check out the anthology. This is the first ever Author Nation, Reader Nation anthology. And then, of course, it is romance. That's why we're here. And there are over 20 authors featured in this anthology called Love Me in Vegas. So, again, it is now over on Kickstarter, and it will be up on Kickstarter until July 31st. So, now that that is out of the way, let's talk about this beautiful human being on the screen. Thank you again so much for joining me today. And now I will go ahead and turn the floor over to you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. So I'm Eliana West. I write contemporary, multiracial, multicultural, inclusive romance. I write male-female couples. I also write male-male couples. And for the anthology, I brought back a couple from my Hanukkah novella, Dreidel Date, and decided to have Zack and Garrett have a weekend in Vegas. And it was so much fun to write. And the writing went so quickly, which I love it when that happens, because that means that you kind of, you're onto something good. You've got some mojo happening. So
now, when you say mojo, what exactly is this mojo that you have for these two characters? Because they're new to me, so I know that they're new to several of the readers out here.
Yeah. So Zack and Garrett. Zack is a graphic novelist, and Garrett is a rabbi who was Zack's secret childhood crush. And in Dreidel Date, they reunite, and the story takes place over the 8 nights of Hanukkah. And so I thought it would be fun to have Zack return, come to Vegas for Author Nation. He's giving a keynote speech at Author Nation, because why not? How cool would that be? And Garrett is coming along for the ride.
Aww.
And I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but what happens in Vegas isn't going to stay in Vegas.
Oh my goodness.
And there's friends and family involved, and it's Vegas, so there's got to be at least one Elvis impersonator. I mean, one.
I mean, for the weddings alone.
And things happen, and it's just I love these characters so much, and this is just a sweet, sexy, fun story.
So we're getting just a little bit of everything. Okay.
Now, I am all the things.
So what is the name of your short story? Because again, there are over 20 stories in here.
I know, it's crazy. It's, Betting on Yes. Is that what the name is? Oh my gosh. What is the name of my story?
Okay, well, one of us has to know the name. It is Betting on Yes.
Okay.
By the way. But I wanted you to say it. Just sure.
I have like 3 brain cells left right now. Yes, Betting on Yes.
Okay, we got to get you some coffee.
I'm going to need my.
Now I'm curious, how did you come up with the name Betting on Yes? Is that somewhat of a hint in the story?
Yes.
Or
well, it was a hint. It was a hint. And it was, Vegas, gambling. Yeah. I was leaning into the gambling theme. And yes, it is a hint. Someone or both people in the story are going to say yes. How's that?
Ooh, that's really good. Now, you mentioned that the main character is there for a conference, because I am sensing a theme. with this conference, is this kind of you manifesting something that you want to happen this year at Author Nation? Because you are also speaking
I
at
am
Author Nation.
speaking at Author Nation this year, and I have to say that when I applied to speak, I thought, well, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing people speaking at this conference. They're
Mhm.
not going to pick me. And
Right?
then I got the email, and I'm so excited for this conference. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about it. I have a friend who went last year, and she came back and just had so many good things to say about it and was sharing her experience. And that was really what inspired me to apply to speak. And I love teaching. Um, it's as much of a component of who I am as a writer as the writing
Mhm.
is teaching and supporting and empowering other authors. I think that's what we should all do as part of this massive community that we belong to. Um, and so I'm super excited. I'm going to be talking about character identity,
Mhm.
and it's a really good workshop.
I
It's a
love that.
really
I
good
am
workshop.
so
It's a lot of
excited.
fun.
I am so excited because for one, I went last year and it was great. I also spoke last year and miraculously they invited me to come back and speak again about anthologies, which is probably why I am really excited to like sit and like talk to everyone who is also participating in this anthology. I hold anthologies near and dear to my heart. And the fact that this is a romance anthology is
Yeah.
just it's chef's kiss. It's just divine. And I am so honored to actually get to sit and talk with you. Like even before we came on and recorded, they like started the recording. Like it's such a joy just talking to you.
Oh, thank
So,
you. Well,
thank
it's
you.
the feeling's mutual, and this is also part of, I think, the larger Author Nation, Reader Nation experience, right? Is getting to
Yeah.
connect with people and getting to connect with other authors and building your community
Mhm.
and finding resources. It's that's what gets me so excited about coming to Vegas.
It's a big event and it can be overwhelming at first, but like you said, finding like that community and the people that you interact with and meet with just preparing to go to this event is a really big deal. So
Yeah,
it's a huge undertaking, but I definitely think it's worth it. So
yeah.
now we talked about this just briefly before we came on, and I wanted to touch on it again because it's an anthology. You mentioned that you have participated in anthologies. So how would you overall talk or not talk, but how would you overall describe the experience so far of participating in this Love Me in Vegas anthology?
So I have both participated in and put together my own anthology project, and I am blown away with how well organized and well run this anthology
Isn't
has
it
been.
though?
I,
Like
like
this has been a dream.
it has completely, honestly changed how I feel about anthologies, because I'll be honest, I was ready to be like, I'm not doing another anthology. Not doing it. And
I'm
this
so glad you did.
and and one of the benefits of participating in an anthology is that you can have this little wonderful gem that you can use. And I know for me, at, as a new author, I didn't really appreciate just how important a short story can be to your overall author brand and marketing arsenal. And those little short stories can go to work for you, and they can
They
do
really can.
so much. And I tend to, one of the things that I do is anytime I do a contest,
Mhm.
participate in a contest, and I'm giving away a free book, an ebook, or a physical, or I'm mailing a physical copy. When I have that interaction with a reader,
Yeah.
um, I always say in my email, thank you so much. Obviously, I'm so glad you entered my contest. Oh, and here's a little free bonus.
Yes.
And I will send out that free story, that little whatever short story I have that I think goes with
Mm-hmm.
the book I'm giving away. And 9 times out of 10, that reader is gonna then go and
It
find other books.
they will always want more. You give them just the right story, the right combination. It is the ultimate introduction.
Right.
That's how I look at anthologies. And I think that's why I keep participating in them.
Yeah.
Especially as someone who writes like across genres, I feel like it's the ultimate introduction. And
Yeah.
that is why when the opportunity came to participate in this anthology, there was no way I was going to say no. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
come
No.
hell or high water,
I
I was getting a short story
I'm
in this
so glad I
anthology.
did it. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I did it, and it has been nothing from beginning to end but
Mhm.
a incredibly positive experience, and
It really has.
I'm
Like,
really, um, just and it's such an honor, and once again, it's a great way to connect with your community
it
or
is.
find community.
Yeah, find
Um,
community and find other authors.
yeah.
Like, that's been really the nicest
N
part.
all new to you authors,
Mhm.
absolutely, and I would say to anybody listening who is a new author, maybe you
Mhm.
just turned in your first book to the editor and
Yeah.
you're doing what I think a lot of new authors do, which is like you
Mhm.
sit and you wait.
Yeah.
While you're sitting and waiting, write a
Mhm.
short story.
Yes.
Short stories are such powerful. It's also kind of like when you've finished a book, before
Mhm.
you dive into the next book, sometimes a
Yeah.
short story is sort of like a palate cleanser.
Oh,
It
it's
just
the best
reboots your
kind.
brain.
Yeah.
It gives you it
Especially if
just
you write, like, not to say heavy, but like if you write one specific genre and then like you want to dabble into like another subgenre, like I have an idea about doing something like this. Like you were writing like supernatural, now you really want to dabble into like more thriller, or like you
right.
just really want to turn it on its head and just dive right into like why choose or
Mhm.
science fiction. Like starting out with a nice short story is the best palate cleanser ever I can think
It's
of.
and it also just, you know, writing different kinds of things
Mhm.
strengthens your author
Yeah.
muscle.
Iron sharpens iron. Is that the expression? Yeah.
I think or yes, close enough.
Yeah,
Sounds good
close
to
enough.
me.
I love it. I'll take it.
But it really, because I also do, and I mentioned we talked earlier, I also have my civil rights persona, and
Mhm.
I write I write speeches and press releases and content writing for that. It's all writing, and it builds that muscle.
Mhm.
Um, so flexing in different ways and different um, mediums,
Mhm.
it all contributes to the larger picture. And again, short stories can be such a powerful part of that.
It's the best way. And honestly, it's the best way to make an anthology work for you.
Yes,
I
100%.
had to throw that in there because that's literally the title of my workshop for
Yes,
authors.
yes, and it's true.
Yeah, and but you can make them work for you, like not just like obviously for profit and for revenue and the like, but like for you mentally being
Mhm.
able to just go on this side quest from something new to something huge.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a question every writer should ask themselves
Hmm.
when they are thinking about participating in an
Hmm.
anthology is how will this anthology work for me? How will this what is the challenge? What is the purpose?
Hmm.
What is the intention and what is the impact I want it to have?
Yes, because those are
And
two different things.
because they're two different things. And
Yeah.
then so you come into it with a clear sense of purpose. And I
Hmm.
think when you do that, you are gonna you're gonna write the right story. You're
Hmm.
gonna you honestly, I think you will write faster because for me, taking a few days to sort of think about, okay, what do I want to write? How do I want to approach this? What do I want this story to do?
Hmm.
Again, what is my intention with this story?
Yeah.
What is the impact I hope it will have?
Hmm.
And then once you're clear on that, it's like, oh, blah, blah, and the words just tumble out.
You literally have cleared a path in your mind that you cannot miss. It is literally the golden road. Like you, now
Yep.
that you have that there, and you get to enjoy the whole process, I think,
Yeah.
much more when you do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So for anyone feeling intimidated or just unsure,
Hmm.
don't just jump in. Take a little bit of time to kind
Hmm.
of really think about not just the story,
Hmm.
but what do you want your story to do?
And
Yeah.
speaking of stories, we
Yes.
have this lovely one here that you wrote, that you put in for this anthology. So I would love to know, with your story, what was it about this particular story that made you want to share it with readers for betting on yes?
For betting on yes. Well, one, again, I love Garrett and Zach so much, and so having an opportunity to revisit those characters and see where they are now in their relationship was really fun. I also wanted to, um, I think mental health rep is important to me. Again, diversity in inclusive characters are important to me. And Zach is kind of he's an author. He's supposed to go and do author events, but he is also he is an introvert extrovert.
Mhm.
And so talking about the fear of getting up on stage and giving a big speech and overcoming your fear,
Mhm.
I think was something that I wanted to share with readers. And also the idea to listen, dare to dream big. You
Yeah,
never know,
especially if you're going to Vegas. Like
especially if you're going to
you
Vegas.
have to, that this is honestly why I wanted to sit down and talk to you, because I feel like I manifested this. Like I got this chip when I was in Vegas last year, and
I
it was
love it.
really a reminder to bet on myself. And
Yes.
I'm now sitting here with you. Like I'm
Talking about,
trying not to cry because it's like so surreal right now. I remember and I was like, oh wow, I probably will never get to do this again. Like, how can I extend this? And like, how can I take this and actually do something with it? And I manifested what is literally happening now. So it's just so
yeah.
wild to like
Well,
sit with
guess
you and
what?
talk about this.
That's what you did. You bet
Mhm.
on yes.
Yeah. And now you have these two really sweet characters who are doing that. And I, for one, am a huge fan of childhood friends.
Yes.
I want to talk about this low angst and high warmth. What can we expect from that? Because that is something that I haven't seen on any of the other authors, like any of their graphics. And I'm very curious about what that represents.
Well, I think there isn't a lot of like nothing really horrible, nothing horrible. There's no it's a short story. It's light, it's
Yeah.
fun, it's fluffy. There isn't the only angst really comes from um these two men who
Mhm.
are planning to propose to each other and wondering if the other will say yes.
Oh, that is the best. Like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. And it's so cute because you know that they're childhood friends. So they know each other probably better than like most people would say that they know them. And they're still nervous about them not saying yes. And
And
it's
they're
like,
still
well, I know he loves
nervous.
me. I know he cares for me, but does he want forever with me? Like,
Right.
oh, that's so good.
Right. Are we really ready to do this? Is this happening? Are we, it just, yeah, it just, and the childhood, their childhood friendship. So I'll just share from Dreidel Date is that, so Dreidel Date is the Hanukkah novella where you first meet
Mhm.
Zack and Garrett, and Zack's family used to hold Hanukkah parties in their neighborhood every year. And it was actually based on our family. We were the house, we hosted a Hanukkah party every year when our kids were little, and the whole neighborhood would come to our house, and all the kids would come to play dreidel, and I'd make latkes and sufganiyot,
Ooh.
and we would just have these big neighborhood Hanukkah parties. The catch was we were the only Jewish family in our neighborhood, and every other household was all Catholic kids.
Oh my
So
gosh.
there's a whole huge group of Catholic kids out in the world that know all the Hanukkah blessings and how to play dreidel because they came to our house every year.
But listen, talk about the perfect icebreaker story. They will forever, you guys are like cemented in their minds now because now they know. And people are going to be like, how do you know that?
Exactly. And so what I imagined for Dreidel Date was the idea that one of the in Dreidel Date, all these Catholic boys that would come to this house, they called themselves the Dreidel Mafia, and they would come in and they were, very competitive, and it was all about. And there was a boy, Garrett, that Zack had a massive crush on. Well, they sort of lose each other over time as people move away and grow up and things happen. But when Zack reunites with Garrett, to Zack's absolute shock, Garrett has converted to Judaism, become a rabbi.
Oh, what? Oh my gosh.
And Zack is sitting in synagogue. His friends convince him to go to synagogue to check out the new hot rabbi. And the new hot rabbi happens to be the boy he had the crush on.
Wow. Now that's a kismet for you right there. Like, you thought that crush was long and gone, and oh no, he's very up close and personal in your life now, in the most, I would say, even intimate settings. For a lot of people who are religious, like, that's a really intimate moment.
Really intimate.
You captured that so beautifully. Oh my gosh.
And so, yes, and they have Zack has a best friend named Becca, who is, her husband is a Hollywood executive, and Becca is notorious for coming up with really bad ideas for TV shows that she is constantly trying to pitch. And so obviously when your best friend is going to Vegas and thinking about proposing, you're going to Becca's going to come up with
you got to pull all the
proposal ideas.
You got to swing for the fences. This is your best friend.
Her ideas for proposing are just truly,
and it's Vegas too.
And it's Vegas. So she, can we do a, Elvis roller skating flash mob? She has a lot of ideas, and
she kind of reminds me of, her ideas kind of remind me of, what is that fashion statement? It's like, before you go out, look at your outfit and then take one thing off. Because
Becca adds one thing.
Roller skating, flash mob thing, it's not so bad if you remove one of those.
Right. Instead of removing one thing, Becca is always going to add one more thing.
Yeah. She's like, no, I need one more piece.
She's going to add something. And it's just...
But it comes from a good place.
It comes from so much love, and she is great. And if I write another story with these characters, obviously Becca wedding planning is going to be just
top tier.
It's going to be a side. I don't know that there will be any survivors if she's involved in the wedding plan.
She has her way. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
For sure.
Listen, I, for one, cannot wait to read the story. It sounds so just warm and fuzzy and just all the feels. So thank you so much for this.
That's what I was hoping for. And I really hope and you don't have to have read the first Dreidel Date to enjoy it. It's its own little standalone little story. But you'll get more of the backstory if you've read Dreidel.
Yeah, you'll be even deeper in your feelings if you read
the story first. You will definitely have that moment.
It's right
Either way,
it's a recipe. You have until I think for the anthology, is it, if you get the ebook, you can access it before everyone else, in September?
I think you get an early. Sneak peek. Yeah.
So you have from now until September to read the previous books, and then you have all September and November to read Betting on Yes if you get it on, which is honestly what I did. because I wanted to read. I made sure to get, I think it's the second tier where you get the paperback in the ebook. So that way I can read the ebook before I get to bed.
And I have to tell you, I'm so excited for the hard copy. Looks
Isn't it
stunning.
pretty?
It's so beautiful.
And I wasn't really a big fan of dust jackets, but I see the appeal now. I see the appeal.
The way this one was done, you really want to own like all the copies.
You want all of them.
All the versions, because they're each so beautiful.
Yeah.
In their own way.
My plan was to get like the paperback and then have like a giveaway on the podcast. And now I'm just kind of like, should I do that? Is that wise?
Do I want to give away my?
Yeah, because I get a copy because obviously we participated in the anthology, so we get a copy. But I was like, do I want to give away the paperback?
You give away your copy.
Yeah.
That's mine.
I am going to be, I've said this before and I'm going to keep saying it, but like it's going to take all the maturity I have to not turn into like some high school ditzy girl when I see all of y'all, because I'm going to like sign it right now.
I love that. I think we're all going to be running around getting each other to sign our stories.
It's like senior year of high school. Everyone's trying to get all of their friends to sign their yearbook. And I'm going to be like, so hi. Can you sign this, please?
We'll have to work on our yearbook signatures. Like I have to go back and what did we see you next year? Or,
I know, right? I was thinking like happy writing or sweet writing, something like that. Because for my newsletter, I always say until next sigh. And I was like,
I love that. I love that. That's awesome.
Everyone's story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so much fun. And I'm so honored to be included. It's always nice just in life to be included in something. It just feels good.
Things that are near and dear to you. Like, we're writers. I love anthologies. I write romance. Like, this was a given. And between us, like, our stories, I don't think they're not exactly the same, but there are so many elements that are like really close. And I think that was one of the things, like when I saw your taglines for your story, it's like, oh my gosh, would she want to be on the podcast and talk to me?
Yes, of course. Of course I want to be on the podcast.
So I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
It's gonna be really, I'm so excited. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so glad it's Vegas in November and not Vegas in July when it's like 3,000 degrees. I'm really looking forward to that.
Me too. I've never been to Vegas during July, and from what I've heard, I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I just came back from Mississippi in June. So like
count me out. I don't want to know anything about that, but I do know that I am so looking forward to meeting you when we finally.
Yeah, same. I'm really excited to meet you in person and be able to give you a hug, and I'm excited to go to your workshop and just learn and absorb and soak up as much as I possibly can. That's my entire goal for this.
Me too. It's definitely on my goal list is to continue learning. Like that's one of my favorite things to say is to continue writing, continue reading, continue loving the process. And I feel like going to Author Nation and participating in Reader Nation, it allows me to do that. So I'm so thankful that I will be in such good company this year.
Yeah. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a blast.
Thank you. And thank you again for being on the podcast with me. Thank everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, I will see you guys on the podcast. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.